Good evening and welcome to the Throttle Out 250 YouTube channel. My name is John, most of you guys know that, and this video is the first one where you guys get to see my beard is actually, keys, GoPro, cord. You guys get to see my big long beard is gone now. I shaved it a couple weeks ago, and this is the first video that I get to use my GoPro and my new MacBook together. It's gonna be kind of great, other than my last one, but that was shot in August, so it doesn't really count. So hopefully you guys like this video, and let me know what you think. So yes, I do know it's getting dark. I'm not sure how well you guys will be able to see this, and I apologize for the voice cracking. My girlfriend is sick and I think I might be starting to get it too. I'll make sure all my audio and shit is off. So you're sitting on my speaker right now on my dash, so I'm not sure if there's gonna be interference, or making sure there's no wind noise and shit. Alright guys, so this video is going to be a pretty simple one here. It's going to be the kinds of things that I have with me in the wintertime in my truck. A lot of this stuff is for emergencies, not only just for emergencies, but for just practicality. Like for instance, I obviously have a snow scraper in my truck for scraping snow and ice off my windshield and windows. I mean, if you live in winter, that's pretty much a given. Everybody should fucking have that. That's like bare minimum. But some of the things that I keep in here are, I have a, that's my VHF radio, and we will get, that was my VHF radio, and we'll get to that in a minute. A few things that I have is, I have a big thick moving blanket underneath the back seat of my truck. I don't know if you guys can see very good back there. There's a big thick moving blanket under there for warmth, obviously, in the event of emergency where my truck isn't running. I have things like candles, lighters, matches. What else do I have? I always have my Leatherman on me, so you know that's a pretty handy tool in itself to have. I generally have a full jerry can of diesel in my truck box. I was thinking about starting to carry gasoline with me as well, just so if there's somebody else that's stranded on the side of the road running out of fuel, that I could maybe get them somewhere, you know, help out in that aspect. Another thing that I keep for the truck itself is I try to keep extra fuel filters and a spare oil filter just in case. I don't have a spare drain plug. I'm not sure that I would really need one, but maybe it's a thing that I should think about keeping. I don't have a toolbox in the bed of my truck right now. I have one on order from LMC Trucks. Or not, sorry, I was ordering parts for another project earlier. No, not from LMC Trucks. I have a black powder coated toolbox coming in from rockauto.com. Black powder coated one, sits flush with my bed rails. I'm really looking forward to getting that in, as well as some window rain guards. Is that what they're called? Regardless, it's the vents that go around your windows, and the one for my hood. But in there, I normally keep a tow strap, 2 shackles or clevises, whatever you want to call them, and jumper cables, various power tools, things of that nature for sticky situations. Another thing I make sure of in the wintertime, especially on long trips, is that I always try to maintain more than a half a tank of fuel in my truck. Like, my truck's fuel tank, as well as the extra jerry can. Ideally, I would have a slip tank with a toolbox combo that would gravity feed into the tank. I just haven't put in the effort to do that yet, so eventually that will be coming, but not right away. Hopefully in the spring I should be able to do that, but for now I'm going to stick with the good old jerry can. And I might pick up a my toolbox is coming, so that's where I'm going to keep all my tools, and then I can get an L-shaped slip tank to put my toolbox on top of and still be able to haul my fifth wheel. Now another thing, what I'm about to go do right now, is I try to have my wheels always torqued to proper specs. I just got my winter tires put on, a set of Nokians. It's been roughly 90 kilometers, so like 60 miles, I don't know, something like that. So it's time to get them retorqued. So that's where I'm stopping now, because I don't have a torque wrench deep enough to reach the duals inside.
Perfect.
So, like I was saying, I'm getting my tires retorqued. You know, one thing I always make sure is that my tires are in proper torque spec, as well as the proper air pressure. My inside duals are sitting at 63 and my outside duals are at 71. When they were installed, the proper air pressure was not maintained. When they put them on, they weren't paying attention, or something happened and they didn't have the right air pressure. So right now, not sure if you can see, but I have the tire tech retorquing my wheels, because like I said, I just don't have the torque wrench depth for the dually. I got to pick one up, and then they're just gonna readjust my tire pressure, because when the tire pressure is off, it's just not good for the hubs on that side, or good for the tires either. So I'm gonna get that all taken care of, because I'm about to hit the road tonight, which sucks, believe me, but it is what it is. Gotta work on the road to make real money these days, unfortunately. So I carry a set of, I don't have them right now because these are brand new winter tires that I put on here. So I got the winters put on, I took my truck to the shop, and I got it sized up for tire chains for my winter tires. So that'll be happening soon. I'll be carrying my tire chains with me again, like I did for my other trucks, and properly sized for these tires, which, you know, they should be right for your tires. Otherwise you're going to run into problems ripping off brake lines, etc. So tire chains is another thing I like to carry during the winter time. Another safety feature that I have is, it's not so much a feature, but it's just something that I have for my own personal safety. My VHF radio, you can see the cord goes up to the mic there. I have that because I do a lot of traveling over heavy, treacherous mountain passes where there is not a lot of cell service. So I have my radio where I can use that to call if there's an emergency, or get a hold of a trucker or anybody else on the road that has one, and maybe get myself out of a sticky situation, whether I'm stuck or whatever. And I do a lot of stuff in the backwoods, not a lot with a dually, just because it's a fucking dually. But when I do go into the woods, I like to have some sort of communication if something happens and I don't have cell service. I also keep 2 spare battery packs charged in my truck for my phones and stuff like that, just in case, you know, my truck dies, can't charge my phone, whatever. So that's another emergency safety thing that I do have in my truck at all times. Another thing I like to have on my truck is proper winter tires, and the tires that I have are studded Nokians. A lot of my coworkers run these tires and they really like them, so this year I picked up a set, all 6 of them. They're 235/80 R17s. All 6 are around $1,500 installed, so that's not bad. Canadian pricing too, so I got a really good deal on that. I always make sure now that I have proper winter tires as well. Over the past few years, I'd say past about 6-7 years, I've always ran like Toyo MTs or Nitto Mud Grapplers, or, you know, a name brand mud tire generally is what I've ran. They've got the M&S, so I can legally use them over the passes. But this year I decided, hey, let's be an adult. Let's get some real fucking winter tires. You know, guaranteed no issues that way. Well, not guaranteed no issues. Sorry, got a text message. Hate the system. Not guaranteed no issues, but chances are I'll have less issues with the proper equipment. So, I've got myself my winter tires. I also keep a shovel in the bed of my truck, just in case, as well as, like I said, jerry cans. I keep jumper cables. I keep the blanket. I try to keep, I don't have a fire extinguisher anymore, but I will be getting another fire extinguisher, first aid kit. Like I said, I have the moving blankets, stuff like that. I always try to keep around about a 12-pack of water. I try to keep in the truck for emergencies, and then another 12 packs just for general consumption for myself. I just alternate them, you know what I mean? So that's just some of the things I have for safety shit in my truck for winter, for as much as I'm on the road and how much I haul and all that. In my work bag, I keep things like coffee, soaps, personal hygiene items, stuff like that. Just, you know, if you do get stuck somewhere, you're good. Another text coming in, I think. That'll be annoying. I'll edit that out. Basic things that you need to stay comfortable and to stay alive if you end up in an emergency situation out on the highway in the middle of nowhere with little to no resources, especially communication. That's the big thing. Another thing to keep on hand, this is just something I have because I'm always on the road with work and I stay on the road with work, is extra pairs of socks, extra jackets, toques, gloves, you know, stuff like that. I should start keeping snacks in my truck just in case. I mean, I'm getting a little big, but snacks are probably a good idea. I also keep in the bed, I keep around 800 pounds of sandbags. I have 10 80-pound sandbags in the bed of my truck right now to weigh it down with the good tires, just because with a dual rear wheel, the outside wheel tends to have to make its own path all the time, so the ass end kind of fishtails a bit. I drive all dualies for work. That's basically all we drive are dualies, so I'm more than experienced in driving them in the wintertime. But they're usually weighed down pretty heavily, and my truck isn't really weighed down right now other than the sandbags, and my hauling season has pretty well ended, but I still need to get to work and I have a truck, so I may as well use the one that I got. Another thing I also always carry in my truck, especially in the wintertime, being that it is a diesel, is I make sure that I always have an extension cord handy, especially for the -45, -50 I guess closer to minus 35, minus 45 degree nights when my truck should be plugged in. One more thing I do like to carry while I'm on the road, especially in the wintertime, is extra windshield washer fluid. Especially in the wintertime, more so in the spring, but definitely yes. In the wintertime, I always carry extra windshield washer fluid. You never know when you're gonna run out and your windshield's just gonna be a total fucking mess. And you know what? That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Is fucking filthy windshields because I'm out of washer fluid. Another thing.
Thank God you didn't come here for coffee. It's disgusting. Okay.
Another thing I like to carry, napkins.
Just stick to town there to that first Timmy.
And anything I can use to make a fire.